Hey there, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. Every week, coming into your life to do three things: multiply your life, multiply your money, and multiply your business. And if you were to put those three things together, it would add up to the show title today: How do you build monster traction? How do you build monster traction in your life and in your business? Because here's what I see people say. I see people say, man, you are blowing up. When people start saying this to you, man, you're blowing up. Man, you're doing big things. Man, you're digging in. Man, I see your name everywhere. That, my friends, is traction. It's followed by spikes, spurts, serious movement, serious traction in the market. So people ask me, how are you building this business? How are you doing this? How are you doing this? Today on Super Coach, I'm going to unpack those things for you. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm building some monster traction. You're watching Super Coach live from the Greatness Factory, where every day we manufacture greatness. I'm Coach Michael Burt. I can't wait to unpack this concept with you.
Everybody needs a coach in life. Coaching businesses and entrepreneurs like you to spike an additional 40% to your bottom line. Michael Burt is a multi-championship coach, best-selling author, trainer, motivator, and all-around super coach. Now, from the Greatness Factory Studios, this is Super Coach.
Hey guys, Coach Michael Burt, Super Coach. When you come and see me at the Greatness Factory, brand new build out, brand new energy, got a brand new everything, man. Tonight we got Monster Producer at 5:30. I'm unpacking how to eliminate confusion in your life and in your business. We're taking this show on the road up to 7 times in a month. I take it from here to Nashville, to Cool Springs, to Knoxville, to Chattanooga, to Houston. This weekend I got people coming in town for Monster certification. And that Monster certification is going to be where we're certifying them to go out into the marketplace. Phoenix, Memphis, all over the country, Ohio. And we're going to help them build their little monster pod. So happy afternoon to you this Tuesday. What is it, Thursday afternoon? Today I'm talking about monster traction. I see all the people I got on there. Cobus, Willem Visser, Clay Skipworth, Shane Ray, the big kahuna. Shane Ray and I constantly talking about momentum. Dr. Stephen Hotze, talk about momentum. Clay Whitaker and I talk about momentum. Derek Godwin and I talk about momentum. E. White and I talk about momentum. Today we're talking about traction. You see a person that is maneuvering at a certain energy level, and they're just expanding and they're growing and they're blowing up. Daniel Hodges is talking about traction. New markets, new expansion, new people, new ideas, new promotion, new concept. And you can see a person and you're like, man, that person is going somewhere. That person is moving. That person is not stagnant. They are dynamic. They are in a motion. They are consistently growing. So today I want to show you some of the strategies and tools that I've used to build some traction. Typically, my business is growing at about 100 to 200% year over year. We are doing some big things out in the marketplace. We're doing things internationally. We're building greatness factories. We're franchising greatness factories. We're building Monster Producer to one of the most powerful networks. We're planning a Monster Nation conference. We're doing retreats in Seaside. We're going on airplane and jets places. We're moving, man. We're moving because my philosophy is simple. When we go nationwide, I want Shane Ray right there beside me. We're going. The question is, are you on board or not going? Well, where does that come from? Well, it comes from this. I think there's 3 states of energy. There's dynamic, there's static, and there's entropic. There's dynamic energy, there's static energy, and there's entropic energy. Dynamic is growing. Dynamic is moving. Dynamic is not satisfied with where you are. I'm not competing versus some external scoreboard. If you think I'm competing versus an external scoreboard, you got this wrong. I'm competing versus my own potential. And I tell people, my mom don't know my potential, my wife don't know my potential, my daughter don't know my potential. The only person who knows my potential is me and the good Lord. Okay, that's it. So I'm playing versus a scoreboard that you can't see. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build this momentum. So what is traction? When you're thinking about this, you may ask me, what is traction? I wrote down 3 things. It's digging in. It's like a cleat building some traction. You're digging in. Number 2, it's momentum. And momentum is energy headed in a direction. People are attracted to dynamic organizations, dynamic people, dynamic movements. Momentum is movement. Momentum is energy headed in a direction. Third thing is spikes. It's spurts. It's serious move. You're looking at something and man, it's like jumping and jumping and jumping, okay? So I want you to define the difference between monster traction and regular traction. Most people wake up and they're in one mode, survival. I am interested in the survival of all the people around me that are important. I'm interested in the survival of my biggest people. I'm interested in the survival of the people around me, okay? I'm interested in that. But survival is not the only thing. See, the average person wakes up and they're interested in survival. Brad Lee, my buddy, we're doing $1 billion camp together. And I said, not every cat wakes up and believes in building a $1 billion business because we're doing this $1 billion camp together. And he disagreed with me. He said, I do think people wake up and want to create $1 billion. They just don't believe they can. I don't think people wake up thinking like that. I disagree with him because I think people wake up, and most people, it's how do I make it through the day? How do I get to the weekend? How do I just fight through this adversity? They don't wake up and think, how do I build some serious traction? So regular traction is survival, 5% growth. Are we a little bit better today than we were yesterday? Monster traction is hyper growth. Monster traction is major expansion. Monster traction is not 10% or 20%, it's rapid hyper growth. And now the perfectionist is going to say this, well, we don't have everything in place. We don't have enough infrastructure to support it. I don't know if we can deliver on the back end. Listen, you grow at a hyper rate, it'll force you to grow on the back end. It'll force you to scale something out. It'll force you to figure out how to do it better and faster. It'll force you to. You don't have a choice. So I'm interested in growth that's big. I'm interested in real traction. How do we get a foothold? And I think about Monster Knoxville. I go to Knoxville every single month and Houston, and I feel like we're catching some traction in those markets. You know, in Knoxville, Andy Warner's over there helping us, and we're getting some traction because we're getting some key influencers. And for you, how do you build this traction? Is that you get key people on board and they begin to go tell other people. But the biggest way you build traction is you get your current base. Don't miss this. You get your current base of people to a much better state in their life. You get your current clients on fire for you. You start building one person and then 2 people and then 10 people. And then you start building a network of like-minded people who want more, who are exchanging energy and ideas and money with each other. And you start building this community of traction. I'm looking at the numbers of our monster producers, of the people in our monster producer program that have turned their numbers into me. Almost every one of those people are up. I've seen some people that did 0 in January of last year and they sold $1 million of volume this year. I'm seeing people grow 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 1,300% year over year. What changed in their life? Traction. They got off the bench. They quit being afraid. They bucked up. They got the right coach. They got the right people around them. They got the right support system. So you can't have traction if you got confusion, which is what I'm talking about in Monster Producer this month. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to unpack this. How do you build this traction in your life? First, you got to make a decision to go, man. You got to make a decision to go. You got to make a decision that you can't go big if little got you. This starts in the mind of the owner, the entrepreneur, the CEO, the leader. I've made up my mind that I want rapid growth. Some people said, oh, it's not possible. Oh, you can't do it. Oh, you're unrealistic. Look, I'm not high maintenance. I'm high expectation. I only want to be around people that's got incredibly high expectation for themselves. So when we come back in segment 2, I'm going to break down how to eliminate some of the confusion in your business so you can build this traction. And then I'm going to give you 5 ways that I personally build traction. You're watching Super Coach every week, multiplying life, money, business, live from the Greatness Factory. Hey there, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. And man, do I love combining inspirational things in inspirational places. This is why we purchased a house down in Seaside, Florida, one of the coolest places in the world. We call that house Seabatical. We go down there to retreat, to attack, May 17th through the 20th. I've partnered with my good friend and founder of Lightspeed VT, the real Brad Lee, for $1 billion camp. Could you create $1 billion of value? Could you create a company that creates $1 billion of value? Could you scale your company from where it is to where you want to go? You won't do it unless you have the strategy and the concept and the mindset. So join Brad Lee and I down at Sabbatical May 17th through the 20th. Get you a bedroom, private bedroom. Get 3 days with the real Brad Lee and Coach Michael Burt. He's bringing the ideas and I'm bringing the structure. Go to CoachBURT.com/retreats. Sign up for a retreat with me down in Seaside, Florida. Hey guys, welcome back. Super Coach. On the break, I was telling my team here, listen, you can't build traction if you don't commit. You can't build traction if you don't show up. You can't build traction if you don't dig in. You can't build traction if you don't start. You can't build traction if you don't get some forward momentum going. Some of you are out there waiting on something to happen to you, man. It ain't happening. It ain't going to happen until you commit to your bigger future. Now, I've told you before, but I want to live a life of energy. I want to live a potent life. I want to live a life of vitality, a life of impact. And to do that, I'm always sharing strategies on how to build your business. And let me tell you, you can't be successful if you're tired, you're dragging around all the time. So today we're talking about momentum in your life. My friend Dr. Steve Hotze in Houston, Texas helps people build momentum. One of his taglines is don't blame me if you double your business because of the energy we help you get. Hotze has a wellness factory versus a sick factory in Houston, Texas. I go there once a month, I coach them. And if you're serious about your health, people fly in from all over the country to Hotze Health and Wellness, one of the proud sponsors of our show, and I'm proud to be coaching their group because they're not satisfied with status quo. They're trying to build monster traction. Shane Ray, just call aloha.com. The big kahuna is trying to build traction. Tune it up, baby. Get you tuned. That's what we're doing. Clay, we're tuning it up. Tightening it up. Look at me, tightening it up right here, man. Can't hardly get in my clothes because I'm getting so big from my workouts. You know what I'm saying? I got more energy than I've had. I'm tightening it up, big kahuna. Here's a challenge. I want the big kahuna to come in there and work out with me in the morning. He can have that flowing hair. His hair is always flowing out of that big kahuna hat, man. I love it. I'm jealous. Just call aloha.com and get you tune up. And what about Clay Whitaker? I wish Clay Whitaker moved to Tennessee so I could spend time with him. Big thinker, mydealercapital.com. All of these guys are proud sponsors of Super Coach. And guess what they all got? They all got traction. Every one of those people I just talked about have got traction. That's what we're talking about today, monster traction. How do you build monster traction in your business? Sometimes monster traction is getting around one person. One person. I've watched what Tommy Santel has done in Monster Producer. Get in, get involved, show up. Todd Tressler, get in, get involved, show up. You build traction by making a decision to get in there and get going. Okay? But I want to give you 5 ways I build traction, guys, because over the last 10 years, if you don't know my story, I took over a program that was pretty good at Riverdale High School, never won a championship. First 3 years, foundational. 80-hour work weeks, I'm just trying to build a foundation. I wasn't ready, and every year I built a little bit of traction. Just a little bit of traction. Year 3, I had a breakout year, 28-3, and from that point forward, we never finished without 20, 25 wins a year, and we just kept building more traction. We took some knockdowns. We took some beatdowns. We took some criticism. But over a 10-year period, we built some serious traction. What kind of traction does Riverdale have today? 7 championships. Now they got some serious traction. Randy Kaufman's doing a great job over there. So for you got to ask yourself, if you're not getting any traction, what does it have to do with? It doesn't have to do with your wife. It doesn't have to do with other people. It's got to do with you. If you're stuck, if you're static, if you're in a rut, it's got to do with what you're associating with. It's got to do with how big your goals are. So here's 5 things I do, Terry, Jolly, Roy Frazier, to build some serious traction. Number 1, I get in a rhythm. I get in a rhythm. And let me tell you what that means. That means getting up every morning, even when I don't feel like it. That means going to the gym first thing. That means getting my mind ready and my body ready first thing every morning. I go home and I spend time with my family. Then I get into the office early, typically 7:30 in the morning, and I'm here and I'm ready. 8:30, we're doing some training. 9 to 11, we're doing outbound prospecting, which means we don't deal with anything in the past. Afternoons are devoted to dealing with issues, any kind of problems, organizations, things that have happened in the past, organizational issues. What I do, Dave Stegg, is I get in a rhythm. See, I think you build traction. Like, you don't know when this traction is going to happen. It's like you're just every day, chop wood and carry water. Every day. Long obedience in the same direction. Consistency. Every day I'm showing up. Every day I'm working through it. Every day I'm recalibrating. Every day I'm working my system. Because one thing I said before the break is you can't build traction if you got confusion. Confusion is when you have a complexity or a problem that doesn't seem to have an immediate solution to it. You're confused. Well, when I get confused, I take action. When I get scared, I take action. When I get scared, I try to build momentum. When I get on the wrong side of momentum, I try to build momentum. Okay? Confusion is when too many things are in motion at the same time, when there's not a clear priority, when there's not a clear role and responsibility on what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. Well, you can never build momentum, in my opinion, and build traction if you're confused. Because what you're doing is you've got a randomness of motion. You've got a randomness of action. So what I try to do is I say, look, long obedience in the same direction. We're going to dig in every day and we're going to do these 4 things. We're going to call on new business every day. We're going to try to close people that are in the pipeline every day. We're going to love on new customers every day. Okay? We're going to spend time with our best customers every day. If we can get in that rhythm, what's going to happen is we're going to begin to build some traction. And we're going to begin to build. The next thing you know, we're going to land an opportunity. And that opportunity is going to be bigger. We're going to fish for blue marlin versus bluegill. So the first thing I do is I get in a rhythm. I get in a rhythm, okay? And when you get out of a rhythm, like we went to Disney last week, I was out of a rhythm. So last week I'm out there in Disney World, walking around with 62 million people. I'm out of a rhythm. So I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to eat right. I'm trying to do these things. But I'm not in the same rhythm that I am when I'm home, and I crave that structure. Number 2, I got consistency. If you want to build some serious traction, I see too many people that are up and down with their consistency, which tells me they're not committed. They're not committed. You don't need to consult your feelings if you want to build traction. You got to show up, you got to grow up, and you got to deliver. We don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses. We don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses. We show up and we're consistent in our action, which is why this rhythm is critical. 8:30 we're training. 9 to 11, we're prospecting. 1 to 3, we're dealing with things in the past. 3 to 5, we got a rhythm. The people in Monster Producer, I say, man, get in a rhythm. Show up. Get on your Tuesday, Thursday rhythm with me. Get in the Facebook group. Come to the events. I can't help you build traction if you don't ever show up. If you show up randomly or sporadically, or you prospect one day and you don't 5 days. Number 3. The way I build traction is volume. Pure volume. I got Eric White over there. I got Clay Skipworth over there. I got Kevin Prindiville here at the Greatness Factory. And I asked Clay, I said, what are you learning working with me every day? And he said, man, the biggest thing he says is the pure volume of the number of people that we talk to and service in a day. You know, some of you are dealing with 30 customers, 40 customers. We're dealing with 500 to 1,000 customers. Some of y'all are dealing with 2,000 customers, 100,000 customers. See, I picture, how do we deal with 500,000 customers? How do we service 1 million people? How do we get our mind around that much volume? Because if you want to build momentum, you got to have so many deals happening at one time, oh, and Schrock, that if you lose one, it don't even faze you. Okay? If you lose 50,000 here and there, don't even faze you. Okay? I've worked with some bozos in my lifetime before. They wanted to quit. They wanted to cancel. And here's what I said. Hey, don't even faze me, man. Because every time I lose one, I pick up 5. Okay? I didn't even want to work with you to begin with. You understand what I'm saying? Well, if you don't have that kind of volume, you lose a deal, your whole world falls apart. You got to have some serious volume. And I'm talking the kind of volume that you're building so much traction that when somebody doesn't want to work with you, you say, hit the road. There's the door. And don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out, okay? Because I'm going to work with somebody who wants to work with me. And there's 7.5 billion people in the planet. So when you're thinking about this, that's the kind of volume I'm talking about to build traction. Some will, some won't, so what? That's number 3. Number 4, if you're going to build some serious traction, okay, you got to have some 10X moments, man. You got to have some 10X moments. I had a guy come up to me at 10X. And he said to me, Coach, I could have been on that stage. I'm good enough to be on that stage at 10X. And I looked at him and I said, but you wasn't, man. You may have been good enough to be on stage. And I'm not doubting that you're better than me, but you didn't figure out a way to get on stage, brother. You got to figure out how to get in the game. You got to figure out how to be where the action is. And the only way I know how to tell you to do this is just keep plowing and getting better and better and better to where you start getting bigger and bigger opportunities. You see, the big opportunities come not by who you know, although they do open the door, but by how good you are. When you're impactful, see, I tell people, don't wake up and pray to be famous. Pray to be effective. T.D. Jakes said that. Don't pray to be famous. You be effective enough and you'll become famous. You be good enough and there will be people that will drive in and just read the Bible of how many people were flocking to Jesus as he was going from city to city. And the crowds kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know why? Because he's good. You get better and better and better and people will want to be part of what you're doing. They'll be interested in you. They will flock to you because you are in the transformation business, okay? So number 4, you got to have some 10X moments. Some people have very little thing. I think about my coaching career at Riverdale. My first 10X moment was getting in a sub-state game, getting beat multiple times. And then it was, how do I get better? How do I get in a championship game? How do I do this, okay? My 5th takeaway on how I build traction is I think you got to build some serious bounce back, Karen Love. I think you got to build some serious bounce back. You can't major in the minors. You can't get distracted by low value activity. You can't listen to the noise. You can't get caught up in drama. You can't get caught up in the things that the world gets caught up in because you got too big of things to do to focus on little bitty things during the day. Okay, if you're going to do something big, you got to get your mind around, I've only got so much bandwidth in a day. I can't burn all my batteries on this little bitty issue right here. I can't burn my batteries on this. My mind has got to stay focused on the prize, and the prize is out in front of me. The prize is out there. It's not right here. And so for you, I see so many people get caught up in little bitty petty dramas during the day. The traffic's bad, the weather's not good, so-and-so said something about me, this person don't like me. It don't matter, man. You got to start pushing towards something that's bigger, and it's got to be so strong you can't be distracted. You can't be distracted from where you're going. Those are 5 things Ron Lampley and Mitch Fitzpatrick I think you got to do to build some traction. We're going to go to a short break right here. When we come back, I'm going to put a bow around this. This show ought to get you fired up enough to build some traction in your life. If you're sick of being in a static state, if you're sick of being inotropic, if you're sick of staying where you're at, you got to get involved in Monster Producer, man. You got to get in a dynamic network. You got to show up. You got to grow up. And I will show you how to build some serious traction in your life. You're watching Super Coach. I'm Coach Michael BURT.
Hey, are you ready to make more money? MyDealerCapital.com is hiring sales professionals from the auto, banking, and finance industry. Are you tired of capped commissions? Are you making 6 figures? Then MyDealerCapital.com is the answer if you're looking for a better opportunity. We have positions available nationwide. If you're interested in working for one of the fastest growing automotive capital companies in the country, then go to MyDealerCapital.com and contact us at sales@MyDealerCapital.com. Your future awaits, and it's much brighter with MyDealerCapital.com.
Welcome back, Super Coach. I know a man that's building some traction in his life, Tommy Davidson. He just showed up here to Greatness Factory. You never know when a celebrity is going to show up here at the Greatness Factory. I got Tommy Davidson, who's up about 300% in his business over the last 4 or 5 years, up 43% year over year. Out there doing it big. Got his own podcast he's doing on Wednesday nights here from the Greatness Factory. He's going to be coming in and doing a little coaching tonight to all my monster producers. He's building some traction. Traction is what? Momentum. Traction is digging in. Traction is movement. Traction is going from A to B. Traction is getting big. Keith Mosley, you're trying to build some traction in Tampa. Tom Farrell, you're trying to build some traction. Paul Parkinson's building some traction. Tony Capullo, Eric Bell, look at all these people. Ginger Stegg, Will Webb's building some traction. Guys, I'm telling you how to do it. Question is, will you go do it, man? Are you serious enough about it or not? Are you moving towards your dominant focus or not? Are you willing to do the 5 things I'm talking about today or not? Because if not, you don't want to build some traction. Some people start building traction and they start worrying about losing it. And I learned this as a coach. Playing not to lose guarantees losing. You may have waited the whole show to hear me say that one thing. Playing not to lose guarantees losing. There was games I was up as a basketball coach. Up 14, 3 minutes to go. I go to prevent defense. My team senses that I'm scared. And I start playing not to lose. I start contracting. A lot of you do this. Hey, you start making some money, you start contracting. You start getting successful, you start contracting. You start wondering, when's the shoe going to fall off? When's it going to work? I know I'm going to fail at some point. These are lies, man. Your brain is telling you lies. When you start to build this traction I'm talking about, you got to lay the hammer down, man. You got to push hard. You got to accelerate to the next round, the next level, the next place. So I want to close with this. What is traction digging in? What is traction movement? What is traction momentum? I don't know how to help you get it other than getting you in my coaching program, Monster Producer. If you're not in Monster Producer and you're watching other people be more dynamic than you got to step up to the plate and invest some money in yourself. Come on, Richard Hodges. Chad Applin's in there. You got to get in, man. You got to get in where the action is. 585 people are in the program. I won't stop till we get 1,000. I ain't stopping till we get 5 people in the Millionaire Club. We already got 2. Tom Love, Derek Godwin. I ain't stopping until I get 40 people in the 25K level, 40 people in Mega Monster, 1,000 monsters. How valuable is that network going to be when we have about 1,500 people exchanging energy and ideas? And guess what? We all got each other's back, and we're all building monster traction. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Here's what you can do. Go to CoachBurt.com. Follow me on Instagram at Michael Burt. Follow me at Michael Burt. Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere you can find it. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. Come down to Seaside, a sabbatical with me, man. Spend some time with me and Brad Lee, or me and Tom Love, or me and all the people that are going to be down there every single week. We're multiplying your life, your money, and your business. And we're in the business of helping you get some serious traction. Hey guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach. And wouldn't it be nice to go to work every day in a place of energy, where there was an exchange of ideas and energy with other like-minded people, that had music and lights and a comfortable environment and a creative environment? Well, I have created that in the new Greatness Factory. Basically, the Greatness Factory is a place where we manufacture greatness, but we're offering people the ability to work from the Greatness Factory. This is where most of our monster producers work from. This is where they have meetings. Right now, we're offering the Greatness Pass, which is where you can come every day from 8 to 5, work from the factory, get better. We've got a full kitchenette, we've got television, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got everything you need, but more importantly, we got the energy. So take advantage of the Greatness Pass. For 99 bucks a month, you can work from the Greatness Factory. Special offer that's only going to last about 1 more month. That also gives you the access to host private events here. New, modern, industrial, cool, energetic. It is a hub of energy and activity. Take advantage of the Greatness Pass. I'm Coach Michael Burt, and I'd like to see you working here every single day.